My stepdad kicked me out at 17 and said, "You're not my problem." Then 10 years later his daughter called me crying asking for money. Before the story continues, kindly subscribe to support us. And while you're here, say hi and tell us where you're watching from. We cherish every comment. I still remember the exact sound my suitcase made hitting the concrete. A hollow thud that echoed through our quiet Atlanta suburb. It was March 15, 2014, 3 days after my 17th birthday. Marcus Thompson, the man who'd raised me since I was 7, stood in the doorway with his arms crossed, his face carved from stone. "Please, Marcus. I don't have anywhere to go," I begged, my voice cracking. The afternoon sun beat down mercilessly, and neighbors were definitely watching from behind their curtains. "Should have thought about that before you disrespected me and your mother," he said coldly. His wedding ring glinted as he gripped the doorframe. "You're almost grown, Shayna. Time you learned the world doesn't revolve around you." My chest tightened. The disrespect he mentioned? I'd questioned why my half-sister Kennedy got a brand new MacBook for her 13th birthday while I was told my request for a $70 graphing calculator was unreasonable. I'd asked it calmly at dinner. I hadn't yelled, hadn't cursed. But Mom said, "Your mother agrees with me." His jaw clenched. "You've been poisoning this house with your attitude for months. Kennedy doesn't need to see that kind of entitlement." Behind him I could see Kennedy peeking around the corner, her eyes wide. She looked scared, guilty almost. Then Marcus stepped back and slammed the door. The deadbolt clicked with finality. I stood there, 17 years old, with $243 in my bank account and nowhere to go. That's when I learned what abandonment truly felt like. I called my mom's cell 17 times that night from a McDonald's parking lot. She finally answered at 11:47 p.m. I know because I was watching the clock obsessively, terrified they'd close and I'd lose the Wi-Fi. "Mom, please. Tell him to let me come home," I whispered, trying not to cry into my phone. Her voice was tired, defeated. "Shayna, baby, you need to apologize to Marcus. You hurt his feelings real bad with what you said." I asked a question. My composure cracked. "About a calculator, Mom. A calculator for the AP calculus class you told me to take." "It wasn't what you said, it was how you said it." Making him look bad in front of Kennedy. She sighed heavily. "Marcus has been good to us. He put a roof over your head, fed you, clothed you. The least you could do is show some gratitude." My stomach twisted. "So you're choosing him? After everything?" The pause stretched too long. "I'm choosing my marriage, Shayna. I'm choosing stability for Kennedy. You'll understand when you're older. Marcus said you can come back when you're ready to apologize properly and follow house rules without the attitude. What if I don't have anywhere safe to sleep tonight?" The McDonald's manager was giving me looks through the window. "You're a smart girl. You'll figure it out. I raised you better than to be helpless." She hesitated. "I have to go. Marcus is waiting for me." She hung up. My mother actually hung up on me. That's when something inside me fundamentally shifted. I slept in that McDonald's bathroom that first night, curled up against the wall with my backpack as a pillow. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and the smell of industrial cleaner mixed with French fries made me nauseous. Every time someone knocked, my heart would hammer against my ribs. At 6 a.m. a middle-aged woman found me. Her name tag read Gloria, manager. "Baby, how long you been in here?" She had kind eyes behind her glasses, concern etched into her dark brown face. "Just tonight, ma'am. I'm leaving now." I scrambled to gather my things. "Hold up." She studied me carefully. "You got people? Somewhere safe to go?" I wanted to lie, but something in her expression made me crack. "No, ma'am." Gloria's jaw tightened. "Lord have mercy. How old are you?" 17. 18 in 11 months. He pulled out her phone and I panicked. Please don't call the police. I can't go into the system. I just need to finish high school, then I can. Relax. I'm calling my sister. She put a hand on my shoulder. Denise runs a group home for girls in transition. It ain't perfect, but it's safe and it's legal. You can stay until you age out. Tears flooded my eyes. Why would you help me? Because somebody helped me once, Gloria said simply. And because whatever happened to put you here, I know you didn't deserve it. Denise's place was a converted 3-story house in East Atlanta that smelled like pine sol and hope. She took one look at me and said, Rule number 1, we finish school. Rule number 2, we respect each other. Rule number 3, we leave the drama at the door. There were 6 other girls there ranging from 15 to 19. Each had their own nightmare that led them there. We became something between sisters and survivors. I threw myself into school with manic intensity. Junior year became about perfect grades, scholarship applications, and working 20 hours a week at that same McDonald's where Gloria found me. I couldn't afford to fail. Failure meant going back to Marcus and my mother, and I'd rather die than give them that satisfaction. My guidance counselor, Mrs. Johnson, noticed. She pulled me aside one day in late April. Shayna, these grades, this work ethic, what's driving you? I need a full scholarship, I said bluntly. I have no college fund, no family support, and no safety net. Her expression softened. What happened to your parents? My stepdad decided I wasn't his problem anymore. The words tasted bitter. And my mom agreed with him. Mrs. Johnson was quiet for a long moment. Then she opened her desk drawer and pulled out a thick folder. Then let's make you impossible to ignore. These are prestigious scholarship programs specifically for students overcoming adversity. You're going to apply to every single one. That conversation changed my trajectory completely. Kennedy messaged me exactly once during those months. It was 2 a.m. on a random Tuesday in May, and her text lit up my phone. I miss you, Shayna. Dad won't let me talk to you. I'm sorry. I stared at those words until they blurred. Kennedy was 13, just a kid caught in adult warfare. I typed and deleted 5 different responses before settling on, I miss you too. Stay safe. I love you. She never responded. Later I learned Marcus had gone through her phone and found the message. He'd taken her phone for 2 weeks as punishment for betraying the family. But the really twisted part? My mom called me 3 weeks before graduation. Not to congratulate me, not to apologize, but to ask if I'd be attending Kennedy's 8th grade graduation party. Are you serious right now? I was folding laundry at Denise's house, phone pressed between my shoulder and ear. It would mean a lot to your sister, Mom said carefully. Marcus said you could come if you behave appropriately. If I behave. My voice rose. Mom, he kicked me out at 17. I've been homeless. Don't be dramatic. Denise's place is hardly homeless. You had options, Shayna. You chose pride over family. The audacity nearly choked me. What options? Apologizing for asking for school supplies while Kennedy gets everything she wants. This is exactly the attitude Marcus was talking about. Her voice went cold. Kennedy didn't ask to be born into this situation. She deserves better than your jealousy. I hung up. I didn't trust myself to speak. I got into Spelman College with a full ride. The acceptance letter arrived in July, and I cried for an hour straight while Denise held me. All those sleepless nights, all those shifts at McDonald's, all that grinding, it paid off. My mom found out through Facebook. She called and stupidly I answered. Spelman? That's wonderful, baby. She sounded genuinely excited. Marcus and I are so proud. We should celebrate. No. The word came out sharp and final. Silence. Excuse me. You don't get to be proud now. You weren't there for the hard parts. You don't get to celebrate the victory. My hand trembled holding the phone. You chose Marcus over your own daughter. You let him throw me away like garbage. Now you want to claim my success. Shayna Nicole Williams, I am still your mother. Then act like it. I was shaking now. A real mother wouldn't have let her child sleep in a McDonald's bathroom. A real mother would have protected me. You want to be proud? Be proud from a distance because you're not invited into this part of my life. You'll regret this, she said quietly. Family is everything. One day you'll need us and we might not be there. You already weren't there when I needed you most, I replied. We're done here. I blocked her number that night. It felt like amputating a limb, but sometimes you have to cut away dead tissue to survive. College became my redemption arc. I majored in business administration with a minor in marketing, joined 3 professional organizations, and networked like my life depended on it, because honestly it did. Every connection was a potential opportunity, every class a chance to prove I belonged there. By junior year, I'd landed an internship at a marketing firm in Buckhead. The pay was decent, the experience invaluable, and my supervisor, Patricia Anderson, took me under her wing like I was her own daughter. You've got something special, Shayna, Patricia told me over coffee one day. You're hungry in a way most kids aren't. What's your story? I gave her the abbreviated version. Her expression darkened. And your mother allowed this? She chose her husband's comfort over her daughter's safety. The words no longer hurt to say. But honestly, being cut off forced me to become someone I'm proud of. I don't need their validation anymore. Patricia smiled. That's the spirit. Though I'll tell you something, one day they'll come crawling back. People like that always do when they need something. How you handle that moment will define who you've become. Her words proved prophetic, though it would be years before I understood just how right she was. Meanwhile, Kennedy had started following my Instagram. She never liked posts or commented, just watched from the shadows. 10 years after Marcus kicked me out, my phone rang at 9:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Unknown Georgia number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. Shayna. The voice was shaking, tearful, barely recognizable. It's Kennedy. My stomach dropped. I hadn't spoken to her in a decade. Kennedy, what's wrong? I need your help. He was crying hard now, hiccuping between words. I didn't know who else to call. I'm so sorry, I know I don't have the right to ask, but please. Slow down. What happened? I pulled over, my hands gripping the steering wheel. I'd been driving home from a work dinner, exhausted and now suddenly wide awake. It's Dad. He's sick. Really sick. Liver failure. He needs a transplant and the insurance won't cover everything, and Mom's drowning in medical bills and I can't afford. Shayna, I'm a teacher, I barely make $42,000 a year. And she's asking me for $50,000 I don't have, and my blood ran ice cold. Wait. Back up. Your dad, Marcus, needs money. And your mom sent you to ask me. Kennedy went quiet. Then small. She said you were doing really well. Big marketing job, nice condo. She said family takes care of family. Actually laughed. It came out harsh and sharp. Family takes care of family. Family. Please, Shayna. I know what they did was wrong. Do you? My voice dropped dangerously low. Do you really understand what they did to me, Kennedy? Tell me what you know, I said, my voice steady despite the rage building in my chest. Tell me exactly what they told you about why I left. Kennedy's breathing was ragged. They said you got rebellious senior year. That you were disrespectful and ungrateful. That you chose to leave because you couldn't follow house rules. I was kicked out at 17 for asking why you got a laptop while I couldn't have a calculator. The words felt like gravel in my throat. 3 days after my birthday, Kennedy. Your father threw me out with a suitcase and $243. I slept in a McDonald's bathroom that first night. No. Her voice cracked. No, that's not. They wouldn't. Your mother hung up on me when I called begging for help. She told me I was being dramatic and I needed to figure it out. I pulled into a parking lot, unable to drive through this conversation. I lived in a group home for girls in crisis. I worked fast food while maintaining a 4.3 GPA. I got myself into Spelman with zero help from them. Kennedy was sobbing now. Shayna, I swear I didn't know. They told me you wanted independence. That you'd asked to be emancipated. I bet they did. And when I tried to contact you, what happened? Dad took my phone. Her voice was barely a whisper. He said you were trying to poison me against them. He said you were jealous of me. I was never jealous of you, Kennedy. I was angry at them for the favoritism, but I loved you. Past tense. The word hung heavy. You were my baby sister. So knowing all this now, I said, my voice cold and controlled, you still called to ask me for $50,000? For the man who threw me away. Shayna, please understand. No, you understand. I gripped my phone so hard my knuckles went white. Let me paint you a picture of what my life looked like while you were being spoiled. I missed meals to save money for college applications. I wore the same 3 outfits on rotation for 2 years. I studied by flashlight in a shared bedroom with 5 other displaced girls because that was the only space I had. I had panic attacks about becoming homeless again if I failed even one class. Kennedy was crying openly now. I'm so sorry. And you know what your father did during all that? He upgraded to a BMW. Your mom got her kitchen remodeled. You got a sweet 16 party that cost more than my entire year of living expenses. The memories felt fresh, raw, painful. They had the money to help me. They chose not to. I didn't know, she wailed. What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me why you think I owe him a damn thing. My voice was shaking now. I want you to explain why his life matters more than mine did. Because 27-year-old me has the money he needs. But 17-year-old me needed a place to sleep and he said I wasn't his problem. The line went quiet except for her ragged breathing. He's dying, Shayna. We all die eventually, I said flatly. Some of us just have to do it knowing we died alone because we pushed away everyone who loved us. 2 days later, my mom called from Kennedy's phone. I should have known better than to answer. Shayna, baby, please listen. Don't baby me. You lost that right a decade ago. I was at my desk at work, but I stepped into an empty conference room for privacy. Marcus is dying. He needs this transplant and the medical bills are crushing us. We need $85,000 total. The house is mortgaged, retirement accounts are drained. You're the only family we have who can help. The audacity literally took my breath away. I'm sorry, did you just say I'm the only family you have? I know you're angry about the past. The past. I laughed bitterly. Mom, you abandoned your 17-year-old daughter. That's not the past, that's child abandonment. That's emotional abuse. That's choosing a man over your own child's safety. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. My voice rose despite myself. You know what the worst part was? Not the homelessness. Not the hunger. It was knowing my own mother didn't love me enough to protect me. That her comfort mattered more than my survival. I always loved you. No. Love is a verb, Mom. It's action. You loved your marriage more than me. Own that. I was pacing now, adrenaline coursing through me. And now, after 10 years of silence, you want $85,000? Are you absolutely out of your mind? If you had children, you'd understand. If I had children, I'd never abandon them. The words exploded out. That's the difference between us. Let me tell you what your husband did that you don't know about, I said, my voice dangerously calm. 6 months after he kicked me out, I was hospitalized with pneumonia. The group home called you as my emergency contact. Do you remember that call? Silence. Long, guilty silence. Marcus answered. The hospital administrator told him I was in critical condition and needed family. You know what he said? My voice cracked despite my best efforts. He said, "She's not our responsibility anymore. Don't call this number again." And hung up. No. Mom's voice was barely audible. Gloria from McDonald's sat with me for 3 days. A stranger showed me more love than my own family. Patricia from work covered my medical bills. People who'd known me months cared more than the woman who gave birth to me. I was crying now, angry tears streaming down my face. And you want to talk about family obligations? Shayna, I didn't know about the hospital. Because you didn't want to know. You chose willful ignorance so you could sleep at night. I wiped my face roughly. Here's what's going to happen. I'm not giving you a single penny. Not $1. Marcus said I wasn't his problem? Well, he's not mine. But he raised you for 10 years. And then threw me away like trash the moment I became inconvenient. Those 10 years don't erase what he did. They don't create a debt. My voice turned to steel. I raced myself. I survived despite him, not because of him. This is what consequences look like. The line went dead silent. Then, you'll regret this when he's gone. No, Mom. You'll regret it. Because when he's gone, you'll realize you sacrificed your daughter for a man who turned out to be mortal after all. I blocked both their numbers after that call. Kennedy sent emails I deleted without reading. They tried to reach me through social media. Blocked. A letter arrived at my office, returned unopened. They even sent Patricia a Facebook message asking her to intervene. She showed me with a raised eyebrow and I told her the whole story. Good for you, Patricia said firmly. Boundaries aren't cruel. They're necessary. Marcus died 4 months later. I found out through his obituary online. It listed his loving wife Linda and devoted daughter Kennedy. My name appeared nowhere. I wasn't even an afterthought in death. Kennedy called from a different number, crying, begging me to come to the funeral. Please, Shayna. Whatever happened, he was your father too. Don't you want closure? I got my closure 10 years ago, I told her gently. When I realized I didn't need him to validate my worth. When I built a life that had nothing to do with his approval. That was my closure. How can you be so cold? She whispered. I'm not cold, Kennedy. I'm free. And I meant it. I hope you find your freedom too. But I can't be part of your healing process when you're still defending people who hurt me. I hung up. Sat in my beautiful condo that I'd worked my ass off to afford. Looked at my life, my career, my friends, my peace, and felt nothing but relief. Gloria texted that evening. Heard about Marcus. You okay, baby? Better than okay, I replied. I'm finally free. She sent back a single word. Good. Some families are born. Some are chosen. I chose mine years ago and they chose me back. That's all that matters now.